Tori Petry here in Mobile, Alabama for the Lions' road to the draft that starts here at the Senior Bowl. And I'm joined by NFL Network's Ian Rapoport. Ian, you've spent some time talking to coaches and staff here at the Senior Bowl. One of those coaches was Lions head coach Matt Patricia. What do you make of his first year in Detroit?
You know, it's interesting because you look at the record, and obviously it's not, I think, what anyone wanted, but you can sort of see, you know, that it's starting to look at least like Matt Patricia wants it to look and Bob Quinn wants it to look. And, you know, the Lions season, they beat a lot of really good teams, including one of the teams that's left. Probably should have beat the Rams too. There's definitely some stuff there where, you know, I can see the building that's happening, and talking to, you know, players and coaches and trying to get an understanding of what was happening in the second half of the season. It did seem like guys were kind of getting it and seeing that, like, if you just, you know, if you do what you need to do, what you're coached to do, then it usually works out. And I think people talk about kind of the Patriot way. It's really distilled down. It's like, just kind of listen to what you're supposed to do and trust that it's going to be right. And I felt like more guys are starting to do that. And obviously, big off season this year to kind of go forward in that direction.
Kind of the do your job concept?
Yeah, and do your job. But like, it's very simple, but it's do your job and trust that these guys are leading you the right way. And, you know, it's like with one of the Bill Belichick tenets. It's like, you know, you're not good at this, so you're never going to do this thing. You're great at this thing, only do that. Like, trust that the coaches are going to put you in position to, you know, to do the right thing. And I think it did feel like the more people I talked to, that second half of the season especially, the more guys were understanding that. And, you know, I think one of the tough things for Matt Patricia was took over here, and the record was, you know, pretty good, but I still felt like there was a long way to go to really get to where they need to go, which is to be one of the two teams that's alive right now, record notwithstanding. And, you know, I do think they took strides toward that.
One of the steps that they took is they made a change at offensive coordinator. They hired Darrell Bevell as their new offensive coordinator. What did you think of that hire?
I have to be honest, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I thought that Darrell Bevell was going to end up in Cincinnati. I know he had a lot of interest. Jacksonville was another team that was really interested. And it's kind of funny. Like, I track it extremely closely. I was in tune with everything that was going on with the searches, and I did not see the Lions coming at all. I knew that it was something that Darrell Bevell would be interested in, but I didn't know that they would get it done until it actually happened. It's like, wow. You know, he's got a really good reputation. Coordinated Seattle's offense for a long time, had a lot of success. I thought it was a very stealth and a very good hire, and I do think that it will be a team more in kind of Matt Patricia's image this year too. Like, I think they're going to run the heck out of the ball and probably be happy doing it.
What do you think meshes between Matt Patricia and Darrell Bevell's style of offense?
It's going to be, you know, they're going to run a lot of play action, I would imagine. A lot of making it simple and easy for Matthew Stafford. And look, I mean, Stafford didn't have the year he wanted, obviously, but he didn't stop being a good football player. He didn't forget how to play football. You know, it's so much of just make sure he's in good position. She can kind of figure it out and make simple, easy, good throws. And I think they're going to put him in good position to play some good football.
All right, well, the Lions do want to play some good football this year, and part of that is drafting good players. And we're here at the Senior Bowl watching some of these guys. What are some position groups you think the Lions might need to improve upon as they head into draft season here?
Well, I mean, I think it's I can pretty obviously say tight end would be one. I think that's pretty obvious. And, you know, the thing about this draft, and I've sort of just now started to get a sense of it, you come off the season and try to figure this out. It does seem like this is unbelievably heavy in front seven and mostly edge rushers. I mean, this is a really, really good pass rush draft. I don't know what's going to happen to Ziggy Ansah. It could go a couple different ways. But no team has ever said, man, we have too many pass rushers. I just don't know what to do with these guys. So, if that's the way they go, I think they would be okay.
Then on the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned tight end already, but then at the wide receiver position, of course, they traded away Golden Tate this year. They didn't see themselves getting a long-term contract done there, and they decided to trade him to the Eagles. They have Kenny Golladay. They've got Marvin Jones Jr. Do you think they need another piece there at the wide receiver spot?
I could see them adding a piece, and I do think Golladay is he looks like someone who's going to really take like the next step. And that's what, the Golden Tate trade, like I was honestly surprised they were able to get a 3 for him. That was way more than I anticipated them getting, which is why originally I didn't think a trade was happening. But so, you get the pick, which is nice, but it also allowed Galladay to be targeted more and kind of be featured more. I'm curious to see where he goes as far as being like one of the better receivers in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, I think they could use a chain-moving wide receiver. I mean, we all see in New England how they feature some of those guys. But yeah, I mean, depth. I don't know if they need like big time star, because Galladay might be that, but definitely some depth and guys to help keep the chains moving.
Another position that Lions fans are really excited about is the cornerback position. Maybe somebody to play opposite of Darius Slay, or somebody to feature at the slot corner position, since Quandre Diggs has moved more to safety.
Right.
Do you think that could be a possibility?
Possible, yeah. And if you said like 5 years ago, could they draft a slot corner in the first round, you'd be crazy. But I mean, those guys play 70% of the snaps now. Those are basically starters. Yeah, I mean, if there's a fit there, I'm still, Tease Tabor, it's really early to say a guy is not going to be what you thought. So I'd be curious to see what happens, if he can kind of get on the same page with the coaching staff. Curious to see what happens his second year. But yeah, I mean, if you get someone to pair with Darius Slay, it only makes him better. I mean, he makes a lot of plays anyway. And yeah, I mean, I think that would help. And it's not a team that needs like a ton. But I do think that would be a position where they could probably add.
Well, thank you so much, Ian, for your time. We appreciate you joining us here.
All right, happy to.
And of course, we'll have coverage of Darius Slay at the Pro Bowl later on this week from DetroitLions.com. Thank you so much for watching.